Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow believers, my brothers and sisters in Christ. Guys, you're gonna have to bear with me. I'm getting used to this location. That sun is right at my eyes. So if you see me kind of looking down quite a bit, it's because this visor just protects me here, but here I'm cooked. So I told you I would come later. I still need to come either a little bit later, really golden hour. Right now it's around that 5 o'clock shadow, or midday. Doesn't look as great, but at least the sun's not right in my eyes, so bear with me, guys. Anyways, in today's video, back at the outdoor spot, I won't lie, this kind of looks like a lion African safari out here. Where do you guys think I'm located? If you're not familiar, I think you know, we're in Texas. I'm looking at a cactus right there. Anyways, guys, with that said, hopefully you're having an amazing day. In today's video, I felt very compelled to speak on God cannot trust this type of man. And that man, guys, is and will be all of us, okay? Now, that's not it. There's a, something we're looking for here, guys. But as you guys know, this past year has been a massive transformation, right? Internally, you could say externally as well, but really internally, a lot of growth, right? You guys know in the last videos, we spoke of that hero's call to adventure, that child phase, that third phase. Go check that out, right? Or what we're calling the humble arc. We had our Paul arc, your single celibate, cracking it. Now I feel, at least myself, or maybe you guys too, we're in our humble arc. And you don't have to be married or a dad to be in this arc. This is really just God refining us and allowing us to drop the swords, right? It's not that we're not gonna need them at a certain point. We will, make no mistake, but we're refining them. Instead of just being gun hungry and sword heavy chopping everything we look at, we're being much more calculated and meek. I love that, guys, right? Blessed are the meek. Having meekness is not in not having a sword, but it's in having your sword sheathed until the appropriate time. You understand? Beautiful. So with that said, guys, in today's video, God cannot trust this kind of man. It is the man, really, I think this ties beautifully, who always has his sword unsheathed. Beautiful. I love it. Just like with Peter, that's what comes to mind. We have St. Peter, right? With Jesus, you guys know what was happening when Jesus was being handed over to the Roman soldiers. What did Peter do? And you know what? Rightfully so. I actually think we need more guys like that, right? What did Peter do? He drew out his sword, cut the guy's ear, and Jesus made it very clear that if you're to live by the sword, you will die by the sword. God cannot trust the type of man who is always trying to, for a lack of better terms, guys, I don't think this is what Peter was doing, but show off. Always center of attention. The sword is unsheathed. It's, I'll go do it. I'll make it happen. It's fighting in your own strength. God cannot trust these men. Now, funny enough though, a lot of times God actually uses these men. This is a very different video I'm gonna make on how God uses these dangerous men, but so important. God is looking for these men. Like I said, like Peter, their swords are out, they're ready to go, but God must humble these men. God has to transform these men, because that man who cannot learn how to sheathe his sword, how to be meek, how to learn when to shut up, right? It's not that he can't talk, but it's knowing when to. If God, just like a father, this is a perfect example, if you have a child, right? I remember I used to do this a lot, and I'm sorry, Dad, my dad passed. I'm sorry I did this, where we're little kids, we don't know better, and we're just gonna be barking our mouth off, right? We'll be in public and we'll say, Dad, that guy looks fat, or Dad, why does that guy only have 4 fingers, right? Or just, you get it, right? We're a kid. And of course our dad gets embarrassed, right? There's grace because we're a child, but it's very similar. If you're going out, let's say to the battlefield, or if I go street preaching, this is a perfect example. When I go evangelizing with this camera, and I'm at campuses, and I would vet or scout for videographers. This is back in Canada, because my wife's not my videographer. Well, until she gives birth, then I'm gonna find another guy. But when I would look for guys to film me with my camera, I would always tell them, and I would really look out for this, I would always tell them, hey, if and when things get heated, we're talking altercations happen, there's some yelling, there's some, fill in the blank, I need you to say nothing. I need you to be very calm. Your job is not to instigate. Your job is not, kind of like Peter, to be honest. I know, you have a good intention by trying to maybe defend me or speak up on my behalf, but I got it. Right? It's okay, right? I got it. Actually, my first videographer, bless his heart, his name's Adrian. I love the guy, such a good guy. He had that Peter moment where a guy was, I'm not going to go into depth, but really very snarky, very bad. Like, this guy might have been possessed, honestly, just yelling, cussing in my face, F you, F this, and I'm just eating it up, because like, A, it's gonna get clicks, but B, like, sometimes, guys, just a little tip for you, and I know I'm squinting, you're gonna have to excuse me, you just gotta let people vent. You literally just gotta like, kind of let them just like yap their mouth out, and then after that, you're like, all right, are you done? Like, are we now going to engage, or is it just a monologue? Because if it's just a monologue, by all means, like, you let me know, and we'll go. And my buddy Adrian spoke up when I told him not to, and that actually made it 100 times worse. And ironically or interestingly enough, actually my wife does that too, I'll be honest. She kind of speaks up too, and she's learned now to like, hey, you gotta let it, do not instigate it, because Satan will use that, make no mistake. I actually then had to get a different videographer, and this guy was really good. Man, he would see crazy things happen, but he knew, he kept his mouth shut. So kind of where I'm going, guys, is God cannot trust. Yes, God will use the dangerous man. I do believe, right? Like if you go watch the last video, I said there's 3 phases. We have the camel, the lion, the child. The camel, the beast of burdens. God don't want to use this guy. This is the Ned Flanders Christian. He gets nothing done. The second phase, though, the lion phase. God wants to use these men, these dangerous, wild men. John the Baptist, Peter's, the disciples. Who else? We got people in the Old Testament. You can paint the picture, right? Moses was a murderer. He wants able-bodied, willing men, right? But he has to be able to trust these men. And what I've noticed a lot of times in my life and through looking at characters in the Bible is he's going to take these men and he's really going to sanctify them. Think of Paul, perfect example. Paul was a murderer. This dude was, as Saul, killing people. But what did God do? He has to humble him. He has to, I love it in Corinthians, it says, for when you are weak, you are strong. Paul was saying, remove this thorn from my flesh. Like, God, like, why do I have it? And God is humbling him. Do you understand? So important, guys. God needs to bring you through that humble arc. And that's what I've noticed has happened tremendously in my life this past year. And it's going to allow God to trust you more. Just like when I'm out in the battlefield and I have a videographer, I can trust that, hey, very important. And I love it too because my new videographer, his name is Pavi. I had 2. I had Adrian, Pavi, now I have my wife. But Pavi, and I don't think he watches this channel, such a solid guy. And you know what's so ironic and beautiful, guys? Pavi said the least. He never blurted out prematurely, but I knew without a shadow of a doubt. I hope I'm saying that right. Is it a shadow of a doubt or a shed of doubt? You get what I mean? Without a shadow of a doubt, if that's what it is. I knew Pavi, honestly, I almost won't even say would lay down his life for me. I trusted this guy. It was me and him against the world. I knew if ish hit the fan, and believe me, at times it did. We're talking 50 college kids surrounding you. I had guys with masks on, Antifa masks, trying to break the sign and assault us. I knew for a fact Pavi would ride out. Now, it never got to that violent altercation part, but I knew for a fact he would. And I just find that so interesting, guys, that it seems like it's the men who are quiet, who are reserved, who have their sword sheathed, that are actually the ones that are the most dangerous. And my friends, that's what I'm here to convey in this video. I've noticed the men that God can trust the most are not the men who are passive, like the camel. Again, go watch the last video, or 2 videos ago where I spoke of the hero's call to adventure, right? He's not trusting the man who's a camel. We need to activate these men to become the lion. He will trust that lion, but he first has to create him and mature him into that child. And if you're wondering why it's a child, that doesn't sound very very powerful, David. Well, it's representing completion, a purity, an innocence, a relaxed, right? A relaxed aggression. I believe old Elliot Hulse used to say, tender aggression, right? You kind of view it, the last thing I'll hear, because I'm kind of beating a dead horse here. Maybe the next video I'll elaborate more on this. I like to bring up powerlifting, right? We got a heavy bench today. Powerlifting, or any extreme sport that's utilizing a lot of energy in a selected period of time, you know what I'm talking about. It is that calm, reserved aggression. It is not in not executing. In fact, you need to execute, but it's in reserving that for that potentiality. Right? If you're that guy before your top set, I mean, some people do this, you know, each to their own, but if you're just like screaming around and doing all the jumping jacks and all the sets, you're wasting a lot of energy, man. You are wasting a lot of energy. What I've noticed in powerlifting competitions, it's usually the strongest men are usually the quietest. They're the most humble, but they're ready. You understand? Because when that time comes, you need to whip out that sword and you need to fight. You need to rebuke Satan. Will you do that? But I'm here to tell you that it will happen. But God needs to first trust. Can you put that sword away to begin with? Because if you're flailing it the whole time, you're wasting energy. So guys, I'll finish it there. Hopefully this video made sense. This is the type of man that God will trust. It is the man who has that power, that ability, that willingness, that zeal, that fight. But is it controlled? One more thing that comes to mind is Jordan Peterson would say, not that I'm saying he's like Christian. I actually have no clue if he's Christian or not, nor do I really watch him, but you know, he's got some good wisdom, or at least he definitely did in the past. He would say that a good man is a dangerous man who has that under control. Do you understand? A good man is not just a passive man. A good man is not just the Ned Flanders who gets nothing done. That's weakness. Do not conflate meekness for weakness. That's just pure weakness. He's got nothing. He's just going to run away, right? A dangerous man like Peter, right? Boom, have that sword. But do you have that under control? And make no mistake, there will be scenarios in your life where you will need that controlled aggression. One last thing I'm going to say here. I keep saying last thing, but they say success is when opportunity meets preparation. So success, when that win comes, when that new house comes, that new job, that new whatever it is when opportunity, and make no mistake, this opportunity comes to every single one of us. When? Couldn't tell you, but it will come. When opportunity meets preparation. Have you done your preparation? Can God trust you in that wilderness season? Can he trust you in that quiet isolation season where you are practicing, bang! You understand? You are practicing how to hit out your swords, to unsheath, boom, 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 boom. Fruit ninja, right? You're chopping everything up, but you put that back in. And I would say in today's age, I mean, honestly, both are kind of bad. We need more men to pull up this sword, but we also need men, and I say this to myself, to learn how to put that sword back. Because there will come a time where God needs you to use it, and it will be very calculated and precise. So that is that, guys. Thank you so much for listening to me yap. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, the analogies, the metaphors. If you guys did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Again, excuse the lighting. I'm figuring out this is a new spot, guys. I'm going to be coming quite a bit later when the sun almost sets, or, much earlier. So thank you guys. Have an amazing day. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. And as always, guys, my one plug, there is one-on-one men's discipleship coaching. If you guys are interested, all links are down below. I love speaking with you guys. God bless you. Have an amazing day, and I will check you next video. Go learn to first pull out that sword, attack and slash, but do so in a very precise, humble, grounded, meek way, because we cannot trust men who are just gun hungry, sword hungry. Not only will they hurt you in the mission, but themselves in the process. Check you guys next time. Till then, much love. Peace.